2014 was a year of change and a year of crisis in the health arena, including the deadly Ebola crisis and political issues involving medical marijuana. Our medical team, CNN's chief and senior correspondents, Dr. Sanjay Gupta and Elizabeth Cohen, count down the top 10 health stories of 2014.
If you are what you eat, then what you probably are is confused. 2014 finally brought some transparency to our food. In February, the Food and Drug Administration announced proposed changes to nutrition labels. It was the first overhaul in more than 2 decades.
Families deserve more and better information about the food they eat.
In late November, the FDA ruled that establishments that sell prepared foods and have 20 or more locations have to post calorie counts clearly and conspicuously on their menus, their menu boards, and displays. Companies will now have until November 2015 to comply.
I will die upstairs in my bedroom that I share with my husband, with my mother and my husband by my side.
In October, 29-year-old Brittany Maynard became the face of the controversial Right to Die movement when she was diagnosed with an aggressive form of brain cancer and given just 6 months to live. Maynard didn't want her family to watch her die in pain, so she moved to Oregon to take advantage of the state's Death with Dignity law. This is not a third world country. This is a major city in West Virginia. On January 9th, a chemical spill at Freedom Industries released thousands of gallons of toxic chemicals into the Elk River and from there into Charleston's water supply.
Don't wash with it, don't shower with it, don't drink it.
Hospitals in the area told CNN they didn't know of any illnesses related to the contamination, but the economic impact was real.
Heroin made a big comeback in 2014 as more people began using this as a cheaper alternative to costly prescription painkillers.
Use of an antidote for an overdose is also on the rise. The drug is called Narcan, and you're watching it in action right now. Naloxone, as it's also known, is now distributed to addicts, their friends and family, as well as first responders across the country. 2014 may go down as the year cigarettes went up in smoke. On February 5th, CVS, the nation's second largest pharmacy chain, announced it would stop selling tobacco products in all of its 7,800 locations, doing all this by 2015. The company made good on its promise early, and on September 3rd, pulled all tobacco products from its shelves. CVS said this would cost the company $2 billion a year, but that selling tobacco is also against its moral and ethical principles as a healthcare company.
Anderson, as you know, we've been reporting on your program on these delays in poor care at these hospitals.
CNN has spent more than a year investigating delays in care at Veteran Affairs hospitals. Arju Griffin and his team exposed systematic problems throughout the VA, and CNN's reporting found that thousands of veterans across the country were waiting months, even years, to see a doctor. CNN's reporting also uncovered VA workers cooking the books to cover up long wait times. Congressional hearings were held, and VA Secretary Eric Shinseki was forced to resign. President Obama brought in a new secretary, Bob McDonnell, who has vowed to clean up the VA. 7.1 million more people had health insurance this year under the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act. As you probably know, Obamacare mandates that Americans be covered by an insurance plan or pay a penalty.
Last year, I had somewhat of an epiphany about weed. This plant can have some real medicinal benefits.
Marijuana is better than all those pills for you in terms of treating?
Yeah. We saw families pack up and move across the country to get access to the only medicine that seemed to work for their children in states where medical marijuana is legal. 2 states, Colorado and Washington, also legalized all forms of marijuana, including recreational use.
On September 24th, the New Jersey 4-year-old died in his sleep. It was the first death health officials could directly link to enterovirus D68, which can cause severe respiratory symptoms. By the time the scare settled down, EVD68 had sickened hundreds of children in nearly all 50 states.
Without a doubt, the biggest health headline of the year, Ebola.
Ebola. You'd been exposed to Ebola while in Liberia.
What began as a single case in Guinea last December has grown into an epidemic of unprecedented proportions. In the first of its kind maneuver, 2 aid workers, Dr. Kent Brantley and Nancy Wrightball, were medevaced back to the United States from Liberia. They survived, followed by others, thanks in part to the selfless work of doctors, nurses, and other healthcare workers who literally put their own lives on the line. As 2014 comes to a close, the World Health Organization tallies more than 6,000 deaths among roughly 18,000 sick. The outbreak in West Africa is far from over, but early-stage vaccine trials are underway, and they do look promising.
Sanjay and Elizabeth, thank you very much. Gosh, so much to talk about from this.